After learning the secrets of the Key of Ages from the old wizard lady, Tut's life changed completely. The ancient Egyptian prince was now also a powerful wizard, but he still had much to learn about the uses of the Key of Ages. He promised his mother, Queen Isis, that he would never use the key irresponsibly. But while spending his days with magic lessons from the royal mages, he was itching to use the key to go on an adventure. One day, Tut could not hold back anymore and decided to use the key to travel back in time and have an adventure. Tut told Ink, his wisecracking ibis and companion, about his plan, and together they went to the courtyard, where the keystone archway would appear when activated. Tut inserted the key into the keyhole and turned it. The archway shimmered into existence and revealed a glimpse of what lay beyond. "Wow!" gasped Tut, staring at the strange world before them. "Where are we?" "Looks like the great city of Paris," said Ink, squinting at the bright lights and towering buildings. "But that can't be right. According to our history books, Paris is supposed to be a village until about 300 years from now." Tut frowned. "Well, the books don't say anything about this crazy weather either. It was snowing, which was weird for Egypt." "Looks like we ended up in the future," said Ink, tilting its head. "Great," Tut replied with a sigh. "Just great." As they stepped through the shimmering portal, the snowy streets of Paris welcomed them. In the distance, towering metallic buildings scraped the sky. Hovering vehicles zipped through the air, leaving trails of light in their wake. People with strange devices strapped to their arms hurried along the streets, and holographic advertisements flickered on nearby buildings. Everything was so different from ancient Egypt. Tut pulled his cloak tighter around him, trying to keep warm. He missed the warm deserts of his homeland. As they walked further into the city, they realized that nobody seemed to notice them, even when they accidentally bumped into people or when Ink almost hit a woman with its wings. People just kept staring at their handheld devices without a care in the world. They soon found themselves in a large square, dominated by a massive, pyramid-shaped building. At its base, a crowd of people were gathered, seemingly mesmerized by something. Tut and Ink pushed their way to the front of the crowd and gasped. In the center of the square stood a transparent sphere, hovering above a pedestal. People were pointing and whispering excitedly. Suddenly, a man holding a microphone stepped forward. "Ladies and gentlemen," he announced, "in just a few moments, we will activate the time shifter and open the portal to the past. Who knows which historical figures we might see today? Maybe Cleopatra, Caesar, or even Genghis Khan." As he spoke, the crowd roared with excitement. Tut and Ink exchanged glances. They had stumbled upon a secret that the people of the future had been hiding. Somehow this futuristic version of Paris knew about the time shifter, and used it to bring historical figures into their time period for everyone to see. And then it hit Tut. If these people could bring historical figures from the past into their present, maybe he could do the same. Maybe he could use the key to send someone from this future back to his own time. It would be a chance to show his people what the future held and perhaps learn something from it. But first, he needed to find a way to activate the time shifter. As the crowd began to thin out after the show, Tut and Ink approached the pedestal where the time shifter rested. But it was locked. Just then, a girl with bright eyes and a determined look stepped into their path. "Are you here to stop me?" she asked, her voice echoing with confidence. Tut and Ink stared back in surprise. "Stop you? What are you talking about?" Tut asked, puzzled. "This is my grandfather's invention," the girl explained, her gaze unwavering. "I won't let you ruin his legacy." She gestured toward the time shifter. "You want to activate it, but you need my help." Intrigued, Tut agreed. hoping this mysterious girl could help them solve this puzzle. Her name was Celine, and she was the granddaughter of the time-shifter's inventor. She led them through a maze of corridors, finally opening a door that revealed a control room filled with blinking lights and humming machines. The sight was both fascinating and intimidating. Celine explained that the time-shifter required a tremendous amount of energy to activate, far more than what the city's power grid could provide. That's why her grandfather had designed it to draw energy from historical figures, those who had once shaped the course of human history. Celine pointed to a console with a swirling vortex on the screen. "That's the time gate," she said. "It opens a window to the past or future depending on the energy signature of the person we bring here. But bringing someone through is dangerous. You could get lost in the temporal currents forever." Tut felt a surge of determination. Despite the risks, he wanted to show his people the wonders of the future. "Then let's begin," he said, meeting Celine's gaze. They inserted the key into the console, and the vortex on the screen intensified. Suddenly, a gust of wind swept through the room, extinguishing the lights and sending papers flying. When the lights flickered back on, they found themselves face to face with a tall, slender woman. She wore flowing robes, and her face was adorned with intricate makeup. But it was the cobra pendant around her neck that truly captivated them. It was a symbol of royalty, a symbol of Egypt. "Who are you?" Tut asked, his voice echoing in the vast chamber. The woman's eyes widened in surprise. "Tut, is that really you?" she exclaimed, taking a step back. "But how? How is this possible?" Before Tut could respond, the ground beneath them rumbled violently. Alarms blared, bathing the chamber in red light. "The temporal current is destabilizing," Celine cried, rushing to a console. "We have to stabilize the time gate before it collapses." The woman from the past stumbled, clutching her pendant. "What's happening?" she whispered, fear evident in her voice. "Don't worry," Tut said, rushing to her side. "I'll help you." Together, they managed to steady the woman just as the time gate stabilized. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice trembling. "Thank you for saving me." Suddenly, her eyes widened. "Wait a moment," she said, touching her forehead. "I know who you are. You're Tut, the young pharaoh, aren't you? And this is the future." As realization dawned on her face, a smile broke across her lips. "So, this is what the future holds. How fascinating." She turned to Celine, her eyes shining with wonder. "And you are the one who brought me here?" Celine nodded, a proud smile on her face. "Yes, I am. But tell me, how did you end up in the past? And how did you get to this time period?" The woman chuckled, her eyes twinkling. "Ah, that's a long story. Perhaps I should start at the beginning." And with that, she began to tell them her tale. Her name was Nefertiti, and she was the wife of Pharaoh Akhenaten. She spoke of a world vastly different from their own, of gods and pharaohs, of magic and adventure. But, as she shared her stories, Tut noticed a growing unease in Celine's demeanor. "It's time to go," she said abruptly, interrupting Nefertiti's tale. "The temporal current is weakening. We don't have much time left." Tut and Ink looked at each other in surprise. "But what about your grandfather's work?" Tut asked, gesturing to the time-shifter. "He might never get another chance to study ancient Egypt." "My grandfather's research is important," Celine admitted. "But nothing is more important than protecting the timeline. If we don't leave, the very fabric of time could unravel." As realization dawned on Tut's face, he nodded in understanding. Sometimes, no matter how tempting the mysteries of the past may seem, the responsibility to protect the future is even greater. With a final wave to Celine and a promise to return, Tut and Ink stepped into the time-shifter. The familiar sensation of time slipping enveloped them, as they travelled back to their own time period. When the archway shimmered back into existence, they wasted no time in stepping through it. Back in their own time period, Tut knew his adventure was far from over. He had seen the wonders of the future and the importance of protecting history. With ink by his side and the key in his hand, he was ready for whatever adventures awaited him next.